Boku from east to west. Why would a country like Ghana, with the biggest man-made lake lying in its center, with all the water that is stored in the lake, why would we be carrying 3.5 billion United States dollars every year, roaming around the world to buy food and ship and come and eat as a country? Why? And we talk about unemployment, and we talk about food inflation, and we talk about the exchange rate. If you import $3.5 billion every year, it means that every year you are looking for $3.5 billion to go out there and buy food and bring it into your country. You are exporting jobs, lands, using high-tech equipment. I can assure you that we will remain importers of food in this country unless that transition takes place. I just heard my colleague, the Deputy Minister, urge us to eat made in Ghana rice and that we should not eat perfumed rice. Why should we not eat perfumed rice? Why? Why should we not eat perfumed rice? And what is so sophisticated about processing our rice to also become perfumed rice? If the taste of Ghanaians is perfumed rice, why shouldn't we process our rice to also become perfumed rice? It is a processing issue. So let us do that. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst I commend our farmers for their efforts so far, because we are importing close to 4 billion, we don't even know exactly how much billion we are consuming, and so we can't even measure the effort of our local farmers, which is then supported with the 4 billion imported amount. So we commend them highly for their efforts so far, but government policy must shift and start focusing on large-scale commercial farming. Government policy must shift and start focusing on irrigation. Government policy must shift and start focusing on mechanization. And we must understand that farming is an engineering exercise. If we are constructing roads, we must also construct farm lands. If we are constructing roads, we must construct farm lands. Because you cannot expect the graduates of SSS today to pick cutlasses and pickaxes and go and clear land using manpower so that they can farm. Just as we must engineer our roads, we must also engineer our farms. Mr. Speaker, the Northern Caucus, the members of parliament who are members of the Northern Caucus, we took a conscious decision that we must transform the northern half of this country into the food basket of the country. We took our regional ministers, all the regional ministers for the 5 regions in the north, to South Africa for 10 days. We took them to the Limpopo province. They were joined by the regional minister for Bono region, and they went from one commercial farm to one commercial farm, and they saw how commercial farming is a job creation mechanism. We visited a farm in Limpopo province. The farmers indicated, the owner of the farm said he has a 1,000-acre farm. He has 200 permanent workers. And during the season, he has 1,000 workers. We are talking about youth unemployment. Farming is a major opportunity, a low-hanging fruit for us to create jobs. If we clear the lands, if we irrigate the lands, and we support with mechanization, we have the potential to produce and export. Whilst we were in South Africa, Mr. Speaker, we went to a maize farm. When we asked them how much was 1 kilo of maize in South Africa, I think they were selling it for about $100. And one of the ministers is a farmer in Ghana, and he then revealed that we were selling our maize at about $250 per ton. Can you imagine the vast difference? That is why when government introduces a policy to support farmers and says school feeding program, buy locally produced food, if you give the contract to a businessman, he will just cut the corner and go to South Africa, buy the thing at $100, even with the cost of logistics, he will get here at $150 and he will still make $100 on it. And you can't blame the businessman. So we need to find ways of making sure that we reduce all the lands that are lying here waste. The last point, Mr. Speaker, I want to make is it is ridiculous. And I met a Chinese farmer and he laughed at me and said, when you import $4 billion worth of food, do you know what you are doing? I said, no. So you are importing $4 billion worth of water. That you are importing $4 billion worth of water. Because the food is, you drop 1 grain of maize on the ground, okay? It is water that it keeps drawing on with some chemicals and grow, the stem will grow and start, supporting the, what do you call it? The crop, which then has, so 1 grain will now produce 1,000, grains of rice. It's just a function of water. So how can a country that has the biggest man-made lake lying there with the white voter, black voter, and now, all the other OT, all the other rivers that descend from the top, from the east, from the west, into the voter. You have all these streams, and you cannot irrigate your country and feed yourself, and you are importing $4 billion worth of food. That is why today, which marks tomorrow, which is the National Farmers' Day, I chose to come and speak to draw attention to something that I think is pathetic. That as a country, very sad, that as a country, we are importing. As far back as 1963, Leader, when Nkrumah developed his 7-year development plan, Leader, in that 7-year development plan, Mr.
Leader,
Speaker,
your presentation is too sweet, but
I'm winding up, Mr. Speaker. As far back as 1963, when Nkrumah developed his 7-year development plan and constructed the Akosombo Dam, he indicated when he was addressing Parliament that there are 2 reasons why the Akosombo Dam is being constructed. 1 is for hydroelectric power. 2 is for agro-based industrialization. We were to use the water in the lake to irrigate and produce enough so that we can build on it to feed the industries so that we can also industrialize. How many decades now? Since 1963, 1970. How many decades now? And we still haven't achieved this basic objective. How could Nkrumah be far better than us in this generation? How? How is it possible that they are better or they were better than us in this generation? This generation must sit up. We must manage our country better. And let's use this National Farmers' Day to remind ourselves of our failure. We have failed. And we must remind ourselves of this failure so that we can sit up and do the right thing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. So, Honorable Deputy Minister, please, I'll give you 5 minutes to wind up. We've discussed it a lot. A lot of people have spoken.
Thank you.
The majority leader has, done our job for you.
Thank you, sir.
Just give us 5 minutes wind up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would want to say that tomorrow we are celebrating farmers across the country. It marks the 41st anniversary under the theme, Feed Ghana, Eat Ghana, and Secure the Future. As you all know, it was instituted in 1985, and so far it's been good. It's created some form of healthy competition among farmers. But one thing is important. that farmers are indeed happy. Farmers across the country are happy. One, because we are instituting the Farmer Service Center. Two, because we are improving our irrigation. Three, because we are giving money to the buffer stock to buy the excesses from them. Four, we are establishing processing factories across the country. And five, with the implementation and the launch of the Nkukon Kitenkete, we are making sure that poultry becomes easy and affordable to most Ghanaians across the country. One of my colleagues said Galamsey is an issue, but I've never seen any government more committed to fighting Galamsey than this NDC government. Currently, we have distributed over 1,000 water pumps seized from these Galamsey sites, and all these water pumps have been taken to non-Galamsey areas where they are using it for irrigation. Wow. And so when we hear that the farmers are not happy, I beg to differ. Yes. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, what I would want to say is that this whole week I've been in Ho, and it's incredible to see the amount of work that some of these universities have presented, especially their research work. Yeah. And what we need to do, as a matter of fact, is to be able to bridge the gap between some of these research work and then the business community. And it is very important that when you come there tomorrow, you see the amazing work that some of these Ghanaian universities are turning out. In conclusion, I would like to make some certain remarks. One, I think that each politician here, whether you are elected or appointed, you should be able to own a farm or a processing center. I think that would be very important. The second one is that I think it's about time that Parliament itself has a farm. We should be able to institute a farm, a parliamentary farm, that will become the model for most of us. The third one is that we should be able to institute district farms across the country, so that in fact, all these district assemblies will be able to own farms and own processing centers. In conclusion, I would like to say that indeed the farmers are happy. Everyone is happy with the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Everyone is happy with the majority, which is the NDC government. And they are looking forward to the next 3 years, where we'll make sure that farming becomes easy, accessible, affordable, and making sure that food is indeed on the table for everybody. On this note, I would want to wish all the farmers a happy Farmers' Day, and also encourage households to be able to set up their farms so that they would have some backyard farming to do. And I'm also inviting each and every one of you to Ho. When you come, I'll make sure I'll take good care of you. Yeah. Thank you so much. And God bless you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, this weekend, we are saying farewell to one of our colleagues who passed on to eternity. And I think it would be fair and befitting to pay our last respect by way of giving tribute in his memory. So I will invite the Minority Chief Whip to read the tribute of our foreign hero, Honorable Ernest Kumi.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I begin with a quotation from the scriptures. Psalm 116, verse 15. I quote, "Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints," unquote. Speaker, today, with hearts weighed down by grief, yet lifted by gratitude, we bid farewell to our colleague, our brother, our friend, the Honorable Ernest Kumi. His passing on 7th July 2025 remains a deep wound in our collective spirit, a reminder of the fragility of life and the profound impact of life lived with purpose. Honorable Kumi's journey to Parliament was not merely a political ascent. It was a story of a man who refused to quit, a man whose resolve was stronger than the storms that confronted him. He was a fighter in every sense, principled, courageous, and anchored firmly in the belief that God's time is always the best. He contested the 2020 general elections and narrowly lost. Yet, as was his nature, he rose again. He won the confidence of his party as the 2024 parliamentary candidate on the ticket of the NPP. In December 2024, the good people of Akwatia spoke clearly and overwhelmingly, entrusting him with their mandate. Speaker, even when his victory was challenged, the Honorable Kumi stood undoubted as a learning colleague of the noble legal profession who valued the supremacy of the courts and the rule of law. He fought calmly and courageously through the legal processes until justice prevailed. That was Yao, a fighter, resilient and unwavering. On 7th January 2025, he took the oath of office, affirming what his people already knew. He was a legitimate member of Parliament for Akwatia. In Parliament, he served diligently on the Lands and Natural Resources Committee and other assignments. Whether at the committee level or on the floor, he distinguished himself for brilliance, clarity, and deep insight. Speaker, despite heckling and needless interruptions, he spoke with the calm authority of a man who understood his duty. He debated with wisdom, argued with conviction, and carried himself with dignity. Indeed, he was an orator of uncommon grace. But beyond his words was his spirit. A spirit that taught us, his colleagues, priceless lessons. His life taught us to fight on no matter the odds. His steady demeanor encouraged us to persevere, even when the path seemed impossible. His focus reminded us that victory belongs to those who refuse to be distracted. In these moments, when our caucus carries an enormous weight of holding the government accountable, though few in number, yet mighty and quality in purpose, his example reassures us that we shall reach the seats of victory soon. He has left us not only memories, but motivation, not only sorrow, but strength for the journey ahead. His life itself becomes a message to us. Do not give up. Do not fear. The overbearing majority stand firm for truth, discipline, courage would always prevail. Speaker, beyond the chamber walls, the Honorable Kumi was a brother, always available, always willing to help, always ready to join a colleague's campaign, no matter how far the constituency, no matter how tight his schedule. His selflessness was inspiring. His discipline was unwavering. A man who respected time and honored every obligation. But today, as we honor his public life, we cannot ignore the deep personal loss felt by those closest to him. To his aged mother who nurtured him, to the man who came to admire, we say, your son fought a good fight, finished his course, and kept the faith. 2 Timothy 4, verses 7. Take comfort in knowing that the values you instilled in him, courage, humility, truth, became the very qualities that define his service to Ghana. To his wife, a woman of quiet strength, who stood faithfully beside him through every political battle and personal challenge, may God's peace, which surpasses all understanding, continue to guard your hearts. Philippians 4, verse 7. Know that you are not alone. The minority caucus stands firmly with thee. To his lovely children, who must now grow with the memory of a father who loved them deeply and worked tirelessly to give him a better future. Your father's legacy lives in you. Speaker, walk proudly, for he was a man of honor. We, his colleagues, will always remain within reach as fathers, as uncles, as guides, and as pillars you can lean on. To the entire Kumi family, may the God of all comfort wrap his arms around you. This loss is heavy, but you do not carry it alone. As the NPP Minority Caucus, we reaffirm our commitment to stand with the family not only in this season of grief, but in the many days and years to come. Yah was one of us. His family is our family. His children, our children. His memory is our shared inheritance. The Speaker, Ernest Yaokumi lived well, he served well, he loved well. And though he was left our side, his legacy will remain a shining light in Parliament, in Akwetia, in the heart of all who had the privilege of knowing him. I thank you, Speaker.
Yes. Yes. Honorable Edem.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the statements in memory of my dear friend and brother, Ernest Yaokumi. Mr. Speaker, long before we were sworn in on the 7th of January 2025 as members of the 9th Parliament, Ernest and I have been very good friends. We have appeared in the media on numerous occasions, and on many occasions after our debates in the media, we drove to restaurants to have breakfast together or have lunch together, and we have always been very good friends for so long. Mr. Speaker, in 2023, I was in Pretoria for a program, and after Ernest noticed a post I made on social media, he called me and said he was in Johannesburg. He drove all the way from Joburg to Pretoria just to come and meet me, and that for me defines how deep our friendship was, beyond politics. Mr. Speaker, my pain at the loss of Ernest goes beyond just losing a colleague in the House of Parliament. But it is a pain that also cuts deep because since I got to know Ernest, he's always had one dream: to become a lawyer. On many occasions, Ernest encouraged me to pick forms to study the LLB program, and I kept postponing it. And for close to 10 years, Ernest dedicated his life to the study of the law. When he got admission to Makola, we all celebrated with him. The first time he was supposed to, he had to repeat, and a few others. Mr. Speaker, to cut a long story short, after so many years of struggling to be called to the bar, just when the fight was over, the battle was over, and he was supposed to be called to the bar in this October, a few weeks before we lost Ernest. Mr. Speaker, it is pain that we cannot explain. But I want to, on this occasion, remind all of us that indeed, on days like this, let us remember that this life is not ours, but it belongs to the Almighty God. Beyond politics, Ernest was truly a reliable friend and a brother. And many of my colleagues would attest to the fact that usually during lunch or when we are on break, you see me sitting with Ernest at the cafeteria, sharing a meal or sharing a drink. Ernest was a gentleman who lived beyond party politics and who was a true friend to those of us who were close to him. I wish to remind all of us that even as we find ourselves here on tickets of political parties, let us always remember that we are first and foremost Ghanaians, we are human beings, and we must first love ourselves before we place our partisan politics ahead of whatever national interest. Mr. Speaker, I wish his young wife and his family the very best. I pray that God himself should grant them strength. Indeed, it is a very difficult thing that this weekend we will be laying Ernest to rest. I pray that the Lord God Almighty himself will strengthen his family, his party, the NPP, and our friends in the minority. And we pray that his legacy should live beyond him. Indeed, the goal of life is not to live forever, but to create something that will outlive us. Mr. Speaker, with these words, I say thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes, M10 to Honorable Professor Nyako.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to share few words as we celebrate the memory of our wonderful brother, Ernest Yaokumi, who used to be the Member of Parliament for the good people of Okotia. As Speaker, Ernest Yaokumi, popularly known as Okotia Star Boy, was born on 5th December 1984, and today is 4th December. So tomorrow, he will have been 41 years old. Mr. Speaker, this was a young gentleman full of passion, energy, and drive, and his academic prowess was so telling. Mr. Speaker, after obtaining a BSc in Ports and Shipping Administration from the Regional Maritime University in 2009, he went ahead to obtain an MBA in Corporate Governance from the University of Professional Studies. He also obtained an LLB degree from Mountcrest University College, an MSc in Defense and International Politics from Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. Mr. Speaker, looking at his pedigree and what he achieved and obtained on the academic ladder, I can say that we have lost a gem. We lost somebody who, but for the brevity of life and death, will have contributed enormously, not only for his constituent and his region, but for the entire nation. Mr. Speaker, you're going to miss him. And standing here this afternoon, I'm saddened because just paying tribute to him, I'm recollecting, since I came to this parliament on the 7th of January 2021, we've lost 4 precious souls. It began with the MP for Kumau, Honorable Philip Baswa, my classmate at secondary school, Chunuma Secondary School. Then our very good friend, John Kuma, Juso. Then Ernest Akotia, and our friend Muta Mohammed. Mr. Speaker, the first three you could realize, I remember clearly that Philip Asua, we had a sitting that ended around 11 p.m. We were supposed to take a vote, that didn't happen. It was rescheduled to the next day. I met him in the washroom, and I asked him, Philip, how are things moving? He said, I'm fine. The next day, Philip was gone. John Kuma was agile, working so hard. Few moments, he departed. Ernest had a program at Takoradi. He came back on Sunday. The next day, he was gone. What is wrong? Is it that MPs, you're not doing something right? Probably this is time for us to do a deep introspection and see if we can do something differently regarding our lives and how we execute our parliamentary responsibilities. The Speaker, life is short. Life is short. It means that every moment of our lives, every second of our life is precious. So if you have something doing, we must do it now and not tomorrow. Now, NS is gone. You don't know who is next. But we are praying to God to give us the strength, to give us the power, at least to contribute our respective quotas to make this country more meaningful. As we celebrate our brother, what we can say is that may God give him comfort. May God give you lasting peace wherever he is as we speak today. And to his family, especially the wife and children, may God provide them with the fortitude, the resolute of mind, and clear direction so that they won't remain comfortless, but the Almighty God, who is the source of our being, will comfort them. And I want to pray with our leadership. Ernest was in this house for about 6 months. 6 months. That's so sad. And I'm thinking that in the Fourth Republic, he might probably be the MP who spent a short time in the house. I might be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. So our caucus, and even the entire house, must take delight in the children and the remaining spouse of our brother, so that we can do something meaningful to memorize his legacy. Ernest, I bid you Godspeed. May God be with you and strengthen you till we meet again someday. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to add my voice to the statement made, eulogizing the memory of our brother, our friend, our comrade, and our colleague, Ernest Yaokumi. Indeed, we are on a journey. The day we depart this planet Earth, nobody knows. The way to come, we don't know. When, we don't know. But it's important to remind ourselves that indeed we are on a journey. Either to be taught that you'll be 90 years and above before you pass on. It is evidently clear today that the young are going, the old are going, everybody is going. Mr. Speaker, I've known Ernest Kumi for some time now, especially because of our media engagement. Ernest is one person you can describe as a very passionate person when it comes to NPP politics. He would defend NPP at all costs. But the most beautiful thing about him, after the debates in the studios, so warm a personality, he will walk up to you, where he disagree with you, he will share with you. He will discuss politics, he will discuss business, he will discuss academic life. The Speaker, on that fateful day, a day before his passing, I met Ernest. Then he said in tree, MP kakra, Mr. Medimachi, me wafem sa, Mr. Ebeye kahubi. To wait, just to become an MP, people have taken me through all this ordeal. And I encourage him that it's part of life. Now, Mr. Speaker, life is a struggle. Life is war. And if you are looking forward to a peaceful life, then of course you should look forward to a cemetery or a coffin to go and lie in the cemetery. From the day you are born to the day you exit this planet Earth, Mr. Speaker, you go through a lot of challenges. All of us would have wished that our brother Ernest is in this house with us. The very few months he spent in this house, Mr. Speaker, Ernest didn't allow, this house to intimidate him. Anytime he had opportunity on the floor, we saw him, the confidence with which he made his presentation, as though somebody who has lived in this house for a very long time. And so with time, it was very clear that you all become better and better and better. But fate to have it, he left us when we least expected him to do so. So, Speaker, we can only take a cue and a lesson from this, that the work we are doing is very, very demanding. The Speaker understand, I can't remember the last day I went to bed before it was 2 a.m. And you wake up very early. It's incumbent on all of us to take our health very, very seriously. We should enter the hospital and check. We should know exactly what our health condition is. Sometimes you close very late, you get home, you are still hungry, and you go and eat and go and sleep immediately. Sometimes the time to even exercise itself is a problem. Mr. Speaker, we love Ghana so much, we want to serve Ghana. But we can only do so when we are in good health. And so let me use this opportunity to call on all of us that even as we struggle to serve our constituency and serve Mother